Hello there and welcome to a coffee table video review from me, Eamon. I'm an action figure designer and just all-around mad collector, and I especially love figures from XesRay Studios. Full disclosure, I do happen to work with XesRay Studios on some figures. The figure I'm reviewing today is not a figure I worked on, it's designed by someone else. But I'm delighted to get a chance to get an early sample of it because Xerxes likes to send me these over so I can give you guys a quick little demo review of it and stuff like that. It's kind of like a review, but it's also like a demo as well. So I'll give you my thoughts as I'm going along as well here. But there you go. This is the standard packaging that we get from XesRay Studios, especially on their exclusive, because this is big exclusive on the side. So you can see that like their Asian cons and some of the American cons as well. So this is an event exclusive for 2025. Very simple packaging. Kind of got her slowly there in the back. It's faded there in the background there. You kind of got her there as well. The packaging, it's a slip case, so you can slip it off. We got Combatants Fights for Glory. I've already taken the figure out. Nice side photography there. Lovely. Look at her there. Looking absolutely sexy and badass. Combatants on the side. Bottom there. All the stuff there. Products and color may vary. To be noted for later on. And then there's Gold Hildr, mercenary gladiator, and she's ethnic, she's Germanic. Hildr is the daughter of Branthok. Her father left her when she was very young. When she learned that her father was seeking to meet her, she had no desire to see him and instead went out of her way to avoid him. She didn't like her dad. Hildr inherited her father's robust physique and made a living out of mercenary. Occasionally, she would fight alongside the Romans against the Germanics. To avoid being targeted for revenge on the battlefield, she would dye her hair red and disguise herself as a Celtic before engaging in combat. Additionally, she would sometimes work as a gladiator to earn more money. With her thick and golden locks, she earned the name Gold Hildr. Notice the way I'm pronouncing Hildr really right there. I'm sure some of the Germans out there will pat me on the back for pronouncing Hildr the right way. But there you go, that's Hildr there now. Event exclusive 25. So that's her. And what's lovely about him is what some of these exclusives, they come with a nice little backdrop. So I'm going to put a little backdrop there. Oops. Put it there. And we'll bring in Hildr herself, because we've opened her earlier and previously. I know I've already had a time and played with her and stuff like that. So there she is. Absolutely fantastic. Now this is very similar to the body that we've already gotten with our female figures already. In fact, I think it's actually the same body. Let's bring her over. Let's bring her over to, yeah, she is the same body as Berenice here. Very much the same thing. Obviously Berenice is covered, so I can't quite really tell, but it looks like everything is the same here. So there you go. Now, right out the door, you're going to notice one thing, and it is a demerit. And it is a demerit, so it is that the color of her skin is a little bit weird. I'm not quite sure what happened there with the Pantones at the factory there now. If you can get past the skin color on this, she's an absolute blinder. But this is an exclusive, so I would still, be buying this one, but potentially maybe there will be another one later on. But yeah, she's just a bit ashy. She's just a little too... Here in this light here, she just, maybe put up against other colors, you might see the differences a bit more, but she's just, some of her features are just getting a little lost with the kind of skin color that she has. But don't let that bother you. Let's look at everything else here, because everything else here is exquisite. Beautiful texture and paint app here on the axe. Lovely wooden axe, some wrappings, little steel tip at the bottom here. Look at all this here. Now we're getting a lot more effort and wash. That was the one thing I used to say, I believe, on the last review with the last gladiator over there, that guy there. We saw, one of my complaints was, I could do with a little bit more wash and a bit more, weathering on the weapons. And here we are. Lovely stuff. I mean, that is stunning. There's lots going on. That's just not a dry brush. There's loads of stuff going on here. This is stunning. Look at her hair. Look at the beautiful tight sculpting going on there. This is seriously beautiful work here. I love these figures. These are some of my most favorite action figures out there. I believe anyone who's watching my reviews will know that I've said this before. But look at that. Look at this. It's nice. I mean, that could do with a little wash there, but you can see that the fur here, it's got some nice dirt all along here. It's all very natural. Look at this. Nice thing here to protect her hip. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. The raised bits are nice and clean. The recessed bits are dirty as hell. Look at that. And again, everything's floatable. So you can see she's got underwear underneath there. She's got red under. She's got her thunderous hips on her. And this is a kind of a floaty bit, so you kind of have to push that down and stuff. This clip here puts on the sword. It's a little tricky to get on the sword sometimes. I have got it on there, but it's a little tricky. It does sit on because the sword scabbard is a little soft, so it's a little kind of hard to get on there, but still, there's the sword. Isn't that nice? That is lovely looking matte steel. I mean, that is real looking steel right there, so it is. Absolutely stunning stuff. And then you get a lovely scabbard here. But the scabbard is soft plastic, so it's just a little difficult to try and get the... you can get it in there. You can, so it's no worries at all. You can actually get it in there. If I pressed and fiddled around long enough, I would get it on there. But I won't right now because we're not a video. But I don't like it on there too because it tends to bulk out a little bit too much. But I do, you can actually get it nice and flat on there as well. But the articulation on these is always through the roof. Let's continue on to the rest of her design, and then we'll get on to the articulation last. Look at this. How good is that? Well, you'll notice the lighting is different on tonight as well. So let me, if I can get this. There you go. Let me adjust the lighting there. There we go. How's that? Yeah, that's better lighting. Yeah, so it's a very dark day, unfortunately, here in the UK. So I'm just having to shoot this with some lighting. That's not normally what I would do, but it's what we can do today. Her axe fits beautifully on her hip. So lovely axe. She can chuck that around the dudes. Look at it again, lovely. Look at the weighted metal on that. Isn't that lovely weighted metal? The wrapping along here. The sculpting of the wood. Absolutely lovely stuff, and it just fits really nice on there. And you got this even little wrapping around here, so it doesn't actually hit off her leg, which is quite nice. That doesn't hit off her leg, but even that wrapping there's got some layer of paint to it as well, which is really quite nice. Yeah, sorry for all the shadows here. I realize there's lots of shadows going on here and stuff, but nothing I can do. Oh, lovely dagger on it. So this, as is what this tends to be with these are floating bits, so they just move around when you're moving the figure. So once you can get over that, you're grand. Okay, so we've got lovely dagger here. Check this out. Look at that. It just fits in there really nice. Look at all that. Look at the fur. Look at the sculpting. Look at that belt buckle there. Look at all this. Look at the way that's all brushed over and natural looking. Look at all this. You can get lost in these figures, and I love that. Absolutely stunning stuff. Look at that. It's really, really, really nice. It's all nicely wrapped here and things. Lovely, lovely, lovely stuff. So let's talk about her articulation now. Oh yeah, let's look at her face a bit more closer. Her face is beautiful. It is a lovely face. Let's see if I can get this. There we go. Try and get that a little bit better. So you kind of get that there. It's a little difficult to focus on with this lighting and stuff, but you can get a really nice idea of her face. And of course, I mean, her bra is, her bikini top is a floating piece. So you have to watch for a little bit of slippage going on here. So you have to kind of squeeze them together. Yeah. But it works really well still. It's a nice floating piece. It's very tight. It's very lean. Now, let's do some other little bits and bobs there before we go through the articulation. Other little features here. So it's like she comes with beautiful helmet. Absolutely stunning helmet. Really is nice, so it is. And you're wondering, oh, how are you going to get that helmet on the head? And I'll show you that in a sec. Because it's really, really nicely done. Look at the lovely detail work there. So it is, yeah. My cameraman is having to work very hard here to get some shots in because the iPhones like to switch between cameras, don't they, a little bit? So you get that lovely helmet with her. Obviously, you get the sword and the shield as well with her. All these floating bits, everything is floating. So you can make her buck ass naked if you want. She comes with a nice pair of bare feet, standard bare feet. She comes with some nice spread out hands. She comes with a couple of fists, 2 gripping hands, and 2 pairs of relaxed hands. So plenty there to deal with. Now, what she also comes with is 2 lovely capes. And they're both really nice because they both button up, which makes them really easy to put on and off. No kind of cumbersome tying of knots and stuff like that. You just pop it apart and you put that on there. And I'll put that on there if you're in a sex toy. But that's really nicely and easily done. So that's cape number 1. So that's slightly shorter. And I really like the shorter cape. That's probably the one I'm going to go for. But then you get a super duper long cape here. And again, I've already kind of tied them up so you can kind of see that it just fits on figure really quite nicely there. And again, it's just a simple clip button there. Oops, you gotta be very careful. You don't want to ever thread. There you go. There you go. So it's really easily clips on her. So what I will say is that to get the helmet on, it's really nice and simple to get the helmet on. This whole hairpiece, this part of the hairpiece comes off. Just that little piece there with the big ponytail and so it just all comes off. So you still have her with a hairdo there. But what happens is now you can just slip that on there. Get that on there. Now, and there she is. How cool does that look? That is absolutely kick-ass, that is. Really nice. So let's go on to her articulation. She comes with a lovely up and down movement on the arms. It's beautiful movements all around on this. She comes with that lovely bicep swivel. that hidden bicep swivel that you often see in the XesRay studios, and indeed for Zeta figures. So you'll see that. She has a sort of butterfly, but it doesn't come out that far, but it does allow her to grip the axe with both hands. So that is totally possible. You can grip her with both hands. I'll do a quick few runs of poses at the end. You can actually totally grip her with an axe with both hands, not a problem. Legs go out, not a problem. Everything comes out. Double joints on the knees, feet. Everything is nice. It's all nice and smooth. It's not rackety. It's just nice and smooth. Nice double joints in the knees. There they go all the way back. That's that version of the knee joint there. It goes in and out. It's lovely stuff. There's even a little bit like a sculpting on the knees there as well. So it's really nice. Look at that lovely feet there as well. Fantastic. And of course, you see, you've got this whole thing here. You've got this butt thing going on. And it just allows for nice backward movement on the feet as well. So that's really good. She has a nice torso bend. She'll bend back very far for you. But bending on forward is a little bit more restrictive. She will do it. But it's not maybe as much as you would maybe like. It's just, there you go. Get that down there. But that's still really good. She is a stunning figure, guys. Absolutely stunning figure. Let me get this helmet on a little bit more properly there. You can see her nice blue eyes peeping through the helmet there. Can you see that? There you go. Should we get a cape on her? See, she looks like what a cape. Beautiful, beautiful capes that she comes with. Again, this is a little bit futsy here. You got to futz with that a little bit. But like with all Xerxes figures, they do all pose like an absolute dream. So will I take the give her a nice thingy so the head's easy to pop off. Oops. There goes her chain. Oops. Oh, there we go. See, that just goes. So look at that, how small and detailed that chain is. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Absolutely stunning. Stunning stuff. So I've decided and opted for, as I mentioned, to put on the short cape. You can put on the big cape, of course, but I've opted for the short cape, so you just fasten it up there like this. Right? And I've just decided, I mean, you probably don't need to take the head off, but I'll take the head off. You kind of put it on like that. Oops. Get the head all lined up. And pop this on there, make sure all the braids. They're lovely braids here, nice and separate. They're nice separate sculpted pieces. Oh, see her hair's pressing down on her smaller braids here. Look at this. Got to get these out of the way. Let's put off the helmet first. So get all the braids out of the way first, and then put the helmet on, so it'll keep everything nice and together. See, there you go. Nice pop in, and there you go. You get a nice. They're also cut as well a certain way, so it kind of goes over her breasts here, and that's quite nicely, and then it goes over her arms, and that's just really nice. So you can put that here. There you go. Now, and look, the hair just goes on nicely. You can kind of move the hair around here as well. And get her looking nice. Shall we grip her with both hands? I guess you probably want to see her gripping with both hands. We'll end the review on that one, I think. So let me just pop the hands off here. Oops, there we go. Another grippy hand. Oh, there we go. The hands are easy enough to pop in and out. Some of the hands are a little bit easier than others. But let's get her holding the big battle axe. Because I'm sure you all want to see that. There we go. Oops, daisies. Get that in there. Look at that. Okay. And it gives you an idea there now, right? So she can totally hold the axe. Oops, there goes the head. Oh, there goes the helmet. Let me just get these hands in. There we go. Do you see what I mean? You can totally do that. There we go. Now, after a little bit of futzing about there. Now, how's that, guys? You liking that? Because to me, that is kick-ass, some kick-ass stuff right there. Absolutely stunning stuff. I think she's wonderful. Definitely another one of my favorite figures to go. Obviously, I'm a little bit disappointed with the skin color, but it doesn't bother me that much. You know, it's not ideal. You know, maybe she's in the cold dead of winter kind of a thing, and she's just a little bit pale. So there you go. Right, let's quickly take off her helmet and hair again. Just so we can kind of see her fully. There we go. Oops. Now, put this down. Because I just want folks to see her properly without her helmet and her hair and stuff, because she is very pretty. She's a pretty barbarian. She's a pretty German lass. Hildr. Not Helga. Helga was from thingy. So you got to constantly push this down a little bit. There you go. But once you get them, you're good to go. But that's her there. Look at that. So obviously you're going to want to see what she looks like with the latest Gladiator. And that's her there with the Thracian. Great stuff, so she can fight the Thracian there. Here she is then with Berenice. Berenice, one of my favorite action figures of all time is Berenice. I absolutely love her. She looks really good there with Berenice. Just as beautiful. Same big, powerful, thick thighs on her. Great, satisfying looking feet as well. Absolutely stunning. Now we'll get her in to see how she looks like with actual Germanic Romans. Because these guys here were the ones that ended up in Rome, so they're kind of a little bit more different, a bit more scattershot here. This one here is definitely, I've got the TV show Barbarians on in the background. There you go, sorry about my arm there. And I just go, there you go. So having those two boys there and having her there is just, you know, how cool is that? You know what I mean? Seriously, how cool is that? So that's her kind of really getting in there now against the two Germans. How good is that? It's exactly what you want. She's awesome, guys. I highly recommend. You can get her now from 5K Toys, and do try other places like Big Bad Toy Store as well. You know, this wasn't kind of exclusive. This was sent to me, so I don't know what the crack is fully with this one. You get the guys in the background there as well. So there you go, and the lovely kind of Germanic backdrop there as well is really good. So yeah. Go and check your stores, guys. I would try Big Bad Toys, but 5K Toys seems to be it seems to be the place to get. I don't know if AliExpress will have. Sometimes AliExpress gets these kinds of figures in as well. But there you go, Gold Hildr. A figure I've been very much looking forward to. We have 2 more barbarians coming now, which are designed by me. So the next 2 barbarians are my two figures for Xerxes, and there's a couple more coming later on down the line as well that haven't been revealed yet. But yeah. She is a necessary addition to your barbarian ranks, guys. You know, you kind of got to get her in there. She'll go well with Conan as well. Do you want to guys see her with Conan? Let's see her with Conan. Hold on. Which Conan do you want? Alright, let's get her in with this Conan. There you go. There she is now with Conan. And doesn't she fit right in there with him now there? That's absolutely stunning stuff. So there you go. Conan and her can definitely either go to battle or get up to some other mischief that they would get up to. Maybe they'll become drinking buddies. So there you go, guys. That's it. Combatants Fight for Glory. This is Hildr. This is Xerxes' kind of first major kind of barbarian figure. We have more barbarian things coming from XesRay Studios. So keep an eye on that. Watch them on Instagram as well, XesRay Studios. And indeed follow me on Instagram, Emilio. And please check out my other channel. This channel is kind of more personal for me. I only do small figures and just my own collection of Master Universe stuff and things like that. But I do have the other channel, which is the Hot Toy Cast. So please subscribe to that too, because this personal channel of mine has got way more followers than my Hot Toys Cast. And my Hot Toys Cast actually need the more followers over. So please just subscribe to the Hot Toy Cast as well, where I do review 1/6 scale figures like Master Universe Mondo figures and from Caustic Plastic as well. So if a company wants to send me figures, that's for 12-inch figures, 1/6 figures, that's where you'll find me on the Hot Toy Cast. But for everything else, small figures and regular action figure related, you'll find me here on my own channel here. So thank you so much for joining me, guys. And we'll see you in the next one. Hopefully the next XesRay Studios we'll be looking at will be indeed the Barbarians. So, oh no, there's a big dude coming out. No, there's a big croc guy coming out next. Maybe we'll be reviewing him. We'll see. Whatever Xerxes decides to send me, I will of course review. But there you go, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Catch you on the next one.